Okay, everyone. Today we're gonna discuss this Cambridge IC CSE exam biology multiple choice paper one, and let's move to question number one. This diagram show a leaf of the plant, and the question is which characteristic of life is represented by this diagram. As you can see, there is a sun and water and carbon dioxide, and that make sugar. So simple, it is about nutrition because this process is photosynthesis. photosynthesis the next question is which description of the species is correct. So species is fertile offspring, produce fertile offspring. So answer is A. Question number 3, they show us a dolphin, and dolphin are mammals and they are in the sea. So the features of dolphin, because it's a mammal, they produce milk, and remember dolphin use lungs for breathing gas exchange. So answer is D. Which characteristics are found in all animal cells? The animal cells have no cell wall, and if you have chloroplast, they don't have chloroplast. Uh, they have no large vacuole. The answer should be B. What is the function of ciliated cell in bronchi? Ciliated cells are the cells that have cilia on their surface. So function of cilia is to remove the mucus. So in the lungs, we have this trachea and bronchi. In bronchi, we have cells that have cilia, so they remove the mucus. So answer should be C. Question number 6. They give us the diagram and the magnification is 30 times. So what is the actual length of this diagram? So magnification is actual length divided by image. So if we so the magnification formula. So the magnification is image divided by actual size. So 45 divided by 30, 1.5. The answer is B. Question number 7. Some molecule move through a membrane during osmosis. So which row shows the moment that molecule moves and the type of membrane? So in osmosis is the more movement of water molecule from a partial permeable membrane. So C. Question 8. What is the feature of active transport? Active transport require energy. It is different from osmosis and diffusion. Osmosis and diffusion don't need energy. The movement of molecule from high concentration to low concentration. Question number 9. Which substances are made by linking together glucose molecule only? If it is only glucose molecule, then it is cellulose, glycogen, and starch. There are 4 solutions that are tested to see if they have contain protein, starch, and glucose. So the color of solution after the test are in the table. Which solution contain protein, glucose, but not the starch? For the protein, we do this test by urette test. The color changes purple. Iodine solution test is for the starch, and it's yellow brown. And for Benedict solution test, it will change from brick red. So answer is C. 11. Which type of biological molecules are enzyme made? Enzymes are made of protein. The diagram shows molecule involved in the action of digestive enzyme. So what is substrate? Substrate is a compound that bind with the active site. So this is B. D is the product, and C is the enzyme, and A is the complex, substrate enzyme complex. Question 13, they show is this graph, and they ask what is the optimum temperature for the enzyme, and with temperature the enzyme is denatured. So optimum temperature is where the enzyme works best is 50. You can see the activity or the rate of enzyme is high, and 60 the rate becomes 0. So 50 and 60. So this experiment shows us two test tubes. In test tube X we have the plant, and Y they don't have any plant, and it tells us that the indicator turns yellow when carbon dioxide concentration increase, and it turns blue when carbon dioxide concentration decrease. After several hours, the indicator in test tube X turned blue, and indicator in Y remain green. Which process used the color change? So in test tube X, we have the plant, and that use the photosynthesis to use the carbon dioxide. So our answer is B. Question number 15, what is a description of transpiration? Transpiration is the loss of water from leaves. It is a pool that lose water in the form of vapors. Question number 16, which structure is cuticle? The cuticle is the most upper part of the leaf that is used to save water. So that is A. Question number 19, what is lacking in diet of a person with scurvy? Scurvy is the bleeding in gums, and there is the deficiency of vitamin C. What is the part of small intestine? Small intestine is ileum, because anus, colon, and rectum are the part of large intestine. So this experiment, they show us the two processes that take place in the body. They have this dialyzing tube ends, and they are tightly sealed, which is partial permeable membrane. Outside is pure water, and there's a mixture of saliva, and in saliva we know that enzyme amylase, and it also contains starch solution. So the two processes that are represented by this experiment is one is should be digestion because of the amylase enzyme, and the other is absorption because of partial permeable membrane. Digestion means remove of the waste product, and we don't see in this experiment. Question number 19, they show us 4 types of human teeth, and what are the names of these teeth? One is premolar. The teeth number 2 is incisor for cutting, and 3 is molar, that is for grinding, and the 4th one is canine. So answer is B. Question 21, What letters show where amylase act during digestion? Amylase is enzyme that um, digests the carbohydrates, so it's present in the mouth and small intestine. So mouth and small intestine, PNS. Amylase don't work in stomach because of high acid content. Question number 22. Which row describe transport in plant? Um, so we have two tissues, phloem and xylem. Phloem transport sucrose and amino acid. So it should be A. Yeah. And xylem transport water and mineral ions. In question 23, in humans, which structures provide cells with oxygen and nutrients? So here is important, provide cells. So for provide cell must be a thin membrane, and the capillaries are the sites where cells get the nutrients and oxygen. This diagram shows a part of human circulatory system. And what are the numbered vessels, blood vessels? Okay, let's see the option A. 5 is vena cava, yes. The six is pulmonary vein. No, that's not the pulmonary vein, that's pulmonary artery. So our answer should be C, because 5 is the vena cava and 1 is the pulmonary vein that contain the oxygenated blood. That's the only vein that contain oxygenated blood. And third one is the renal artery. Question number 25. Some method of transmitting pathogens are listed. So they ask how many indirect methods of transmitted pathogens. So the indirect mean this host in between. So let's see the one drinking contaminated water. Yes, that's an indirect method. Contact with another person blood, so that is direct, so that is not. Contact with another person's saliva, that is also a direct method. And touching contaminated surface, that is indirect. So there are two methods that are transmitting pathogens indirectly. Question 26. Which substances are used and produced in aerobic respiration in plant cell? So aerobic respiration means they use oxygen, and in plants when they use oxygen they produce the substances used in aerobic respiration, and they are produced in aerobic respiration. The answer is, let's see the option A. So carbon dioxide and glucose, so they are produced in plant cell, so that is not the answer. Carbon dioxide and water, no, the water is used and carbon dioxide is produced. Option C, glucose and oxygen, yes, they are used in respiration, aerobic respiration, and carbon dioxide and water, they are produced. The answer should be C. Question 27. Which organ excrete urea? So excrete, remove from the body. So that is by kidneys. Liver produce the urea and it is excreted by kidneys. Question number 28. Which statement about hormones are correct? So number 1, the ovaries secrete estrogen, right? The pancreas secrete adrenaline. No, the adrenaline is secreted by adrenal glands, that is on the top of the kidney. They produce adrenaline, and the pancreas secrete insulin. That's right. So 1 and 3. This diagram shows us the light, and they show the plant is growing towards the light. So what is that response to the light? That is phototropism. Phototropism, and there is another response that is called gravitism. So in presence of light, the plant shows the phototropism, that is moved towards the light. Question 30. Parts of the insect pollinated flowers are listed. So which parts are in the carpel? So in the carpel, um, there is stigma and there is style, because anther is outside, that is the male reproductive part, and filament is also another part that is not included in the carpel. So 3 and 4, that is our answer. Question 31. What is treated with antibiotics? So only bacterial infection can be treated with antibiotics. Antibiotics don't work on the viral infection. Rickets is vitamin D deficiency disease, and that's also scurvy is vitamin C. Which statement describe asexual reproduction? Asexual reproduction has only one parent involved. So one parent and one parent, and if there is only one parent, the production is genetically identical, so they are same copies. So it's answer C. Question 33. In humans, why are sperm produced in much greater number than egg? Yeah, because in human there's only one egg, and the sperm have too many in quantity. So the reason of this is uh, D, because one sperm they have to travel a long journey, so there must be more number of the sperm, and only one egg is required. Most of the sperm on their journey they die and lose energy, so the chances of sperms are reaching egg is very small. That is the reason. Question number 34. What is the ball of the cell that implant into the lining of the uterus during sexual reproduction in human? So the ball, the first egg, and when they fuse with the sperm, they form a zygote, and zygote then divide by mitosis, and they divide more and make a ball-like structure that is called embryo. Embryo will attach with the wall of the uterus here. Question number 35. Which sex hormone need to be present in a sperm cell to produce male offspring? So to produce a male offspring, only Y chromosome is required. Question 36. ABO blood groups are an example of one type of variation. What is the cause of this type of variation? This type of variation in blood group is only affected by genes. It is not affected by environment or mutation. 37. Which statement is example of natural selection? So in natural selection, nature will select which species or organism is in the environment. Choosing is depend on human, so option A and B is not natural selection. Insert gene into the crop plant is also by humans, so that is not natural selection. But wild flowers, they do this natural selection. So this is the example. Question number 38. This graph shows the increase in human population since 1630. So which was the longest time taken for population to double? So if you see from 1630 to 1730, that's 100, but the population here, let's suppose, is 500, and it is almost 1830, like 200 years. So it should be option B, because if you see the D, 400 years north is the 200 years, because from here to here is 100. 1930 to 2030 is also 1 year, but the population increase too much. Question 39. Lichens are the organisms that do not grow well in polluted air. So which graph shows the change in the number of lichens species from the center of a polluted city to an unpolluted countryside 15 kilometers away. So these four graphs, this is a decrease in population, and here the first decrease and then increase. The third one increase shows that there is a continuous increase in population as the distance increase, and the fourth one shows the increase and then they decrease. So because they live in an unpolluted country, the pollution increase. If the pollution increase, their quantity decrease. So the best graph shows is the C, because the lichens, they love to grow in a clean environment. So it's option C. As the distance increase, their number increase. And the last question: which tropic level describes an organism that only eat herbivores? Um, Herbivores are the animals who eat the plants, and those organisms that eat herbivores, they are called carnivores. So they are the secondary consumer. The primary consumers are the animals. They eat plants and grass. So these are herbivores, and producers are the plants, and secondary consumers are those who eat the herbivores. I hope you enjoy the video.